It's time for match number 21 of CPL 2020. The Jamaica Tallawahs take on the Trinbago Knight Riders. Let's build our fantasy team then. On my 11 Circle Fantasy pick on ESPN Cricinfo, I'm Rana Kapoor, and all set to join me is Daren Ganga. Right, so who can stop the Knight Riders? 6 wins out of 6. Well, the Tallawahs are going to try. And as I go to the pro tip for this one, before getting Daren Ganga's thoughts, Sunil Narayan must be leaving you in a bit of a soup if you're playing fantasy regularly when the Trinbago Knight Riders play. He's not played the last 3 games for TKR. Now, if he plays, you know he's got to be in your team. If he doesn't play, we're throwing in Lendl Simmons as an option. In the last few games, Daren, we were recommending Narayan to be made straight captain. We're deferring from that now. And we're recommending Lendl Simmons. Now, I haven't seen much of Lendl Simmons showing top form this CPL. Would you agree with this pro tip or not?
Well, he's only scored 89 runs, right, Ronak? And we know potentially he is a top-class player. He hasn't fired in this year's tournament, but I think the most significant pro tip will be about the conditions. We expected the Oval to produce more runs than wickets, and that didn't happen. The average first inning score there, about 135. For all 10 matches. When you compare that with what we experienced at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy, the average first inning score was 149. So expect bat to dominate ball a little bit more. In terms of Lendl Simmons being bankable, I might probably go with Colin Munro because of his track record, because he's already scored 1 half century. He bats in that number 3 position. I think that might be a better choice, but Lendl needs a little more time in the middle to convince me that he will fire soon.
Yeah, well, he's offered 29 ball 32 against the Tridents. If you think that's given you enough confidence that Lendl Simmons can score big next time around, that's your pick, but that's what Daren Ganga's gone for. And more often than not, Daren Ganga gets these right. Let's go to our team. Before that, quick reminder to all our viewers playing perhaps for the first time on the My 11 Circle Fantasy app, 100 credits for you to pick your fantasy team, 4 categories of players to pick from: batsmen, bowlers, wicket keepers, and all-rounders. You can pick a maximum of 7 players from one team in any particular contest, and every player's individual credit value is listed right there on the app. Let's move towards our team, and in our top picks, our captaincy recommendation, not for the first time, is Mujeeb Rahman, who has been a sensation this season. As we know, he continues to impress in T20 leagues around the world, the Afghan spinner, among the leading wicket takers, and at 13 wickets in his first 6 games, Mujeeb is above everybody else. His remarkable economy of 3.87 stands out as well, especially for someone who's done a lot of his bowling in the power play. Mujeeb is our captain recommendation. Mujeeb and Pollard as our vice captain choice. We saw a classic, brilliant Pollard innings, didn't we? That 28 ball 72 to single-handedly win the game for the Knight Riders against the Barbados Tridents. It's the very best of Pollard, and as we get to the crunch end of the CPL, we're recommending him as vice captain. Captain gives you double the points, vice captain 1.5 times. Pick them very carefully. Among our top picks, some regular features. Glenn Phillips, who's been in our top picks before. The informed Kiwi is right at the top of his game and at the top of his batting chart. So we have the most prolific run getter and wicket taker in the CPL featuring in this fantasy. Andre Russell's there as well. He's probably due 1 or 2 big innings, just like Pollard's shown. But Andre Russell shouldn't be too far away from your calculations among our top picks. And Sandeep Lamichhane, on a ground where Daren's mentioned, we have seen some crazy things, if I am to put it lightly, with balls. Sandeep Lamichhane is among those spinners that can get you loads of points. Quick reminder, Mujeeb is captain, Pollard is vice captain, Glenn Phillips, Andre Russell and Lamichhane among our top picks. Can you argue against any of those, Daren?
Not at all. Based on performances we've seen, based on the reputation that these guys have, you can obviously support them for producing points for you in this fantasy team. All of these players, they've tasted success to some extent in the tournament, and as we get to the business end, I expect that they will become more consistent.
Okay, as we move to some value picks, players that you could get for decent credit value on the My 11 Circle Fantasy app. And we got a young player then, Jayden Sales. Now, Daren, I think, has kept a keen eye on Jayden Sales, has recommended him once or twice when we've missed out on him. And the 18-year-old is perhaps not made a big impact, but with 5 wickets in his last 3 games, and among those wickets, the likes of Glenn Phillips, Johnson Charles, Nicholas Pooran, we reckon that someone like Sales is pretty good value in your team. Carlos Braithwaite's there as well. He's had a couple of impressive outings this season, and he's managed to get a few wickets as well. So as the all-round option, Braithwaite along with Jaden Seals in our value picks. Looking at our full team, Glenn Phillips, Lendl Simmons, Darren Bravo. We know that Darren is recommended someone like Colin Munro ahead of Lendl Simmons perhaps. Daren Pollard, Andre Russell and Carlos Brathwaite. Pollard is our recommended vice captain. And Jaden Seals, Mujeeb Rahman, who we've recommended as captain. Carrie Pear, Ali Khan and Sandeep Lamichane. Any other changes or any other options you'd like to throw in there, Darren, after the one you've given already with Colin Munro?
Well, when we've disaggregated the bowlers and the type of bowlers who've done well at Brian Lara Cricket Academy, we saw more of a balance with the seamers taking wickets there. So I'd like to throw in the name Fidel Edwards. I spoke about him the last time around. He picked up early wickets. Remember that dismissal of Chris Lynn when he bowled him. So Fidel Edwards to me might play a part, and he could be a good pick on your fantasy team.
All right, there you have it. Someone like Fidel Edwards thrown in by Daren Ganga, Colin Munro as well. Keep your lookout on the playing 11s to see if Sunil Narayan gets a comeback after missing a few games. And we'll hear plenty more from Daren Ganga as CPL 2020 continues on My 11 Circle Fantasy Pick on ESPN Cricinfo.